pretty sure you know, we like family, so we're gonna have a conversation at the end of this. Anthony's gonna be like our cousin, okay? All right, so y'all go ahead and sit down and let's jump into it, okay?
Hold on, Billie Jean King, hold on one second. How many people won the $25 gift card that was down there? How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That was it? Is 8 of y'all? Okay. All right, see me when you walk off the stage. I'm gonna match y'all $25. Don't be lying, y'all better show me what y'all won too.
Okay. All right, you ready to get this thing started?
Let's get it started.
Okay, so we know Anthony Anderson from being on the big screen, the movie screen, television as well, actor and comedian. But who is Anthony Anderson from Compton? And how did you get onto this successful journey? And please mention any failures that you had along the way.
First off, I was just a kid from Compton. Still just a kid from Compton. That's my hashtag on Instagram. Just a kid with a dream. You know, my mom was an actress, a horrible actress, I might add.
Why you said she was horrible?
It's the truth. What? Hey, okay, let me ask y'all this. Have y'all ever seen my mom in anything before I gave her a job? That's how bad she was. No, so my mother was in a production of A Raisin in the Sun at Compton Community College. And I remember sitting in the back of the theater, just me and my 2 younger brothers, and I looked up on stage and I saw my mom performing, and I said, that is what I'm gonna do with the rest of my life. So for the last 42 years, that's what I've been preparing myself to do. And like I said, I was just a kid with a dream. And, you know, you're talking about who is Anthony Anderson from Compton, and a kid with a dream who made that dream a reality, who wants to give back to his community, who wants to serve his community, and who wants to be the best that he can be. You know, I'm often asked by friends and family, you know, what do I want my legacy to be? Well, that's not up to me to determine, other than to do the work that I've been put on this earth to do. And hopefully along the way, you know, I'm able to lift as I climb and help out the community along the road.
All right, lift as he climbs. Isn't that deep? That's some real motivational talk right there. So you actually started off as a stand-up comedian, right?
No,
Okay.
I didn't. A lot of people think that's how it started for me, because when my career first started off, when it jumped off, I was working with the likes of Eddie Murphy, Martin Lawrence, Bernie Mac, the Farrelly Brothers, Jim Carrey. So I was working with the comedic greats, but no, I was always an actor who just happened, you know, to be funny on occasion. I like the comparison to the stand-ups, but what they do is something completely different than what I do. It's a completely different skill set.
Yeah.
And I don't take that lightly. So when people say, yeah, you were a stand-up, and I have to correct them because I respect the craft. And I'm not out there on the road in the clubs grinding it out like they are to get to where they are. But it's something that I will do and I want to do. I host comedy shows, but I've never had a 15, 30, 45-minute set, you know, to keep an audience captive. But it's a passion of mine, so one day I will.
Don't y'all think you would be a great stand-up comedian, right? I think you would. And speaking of working alongside Eddie Murphy and all the other comedian greats that you did, it was in the movie Life. How was that? What did it hit you that, you know what, I have arrived in Hollywood and my name will be along some of the names of the greatest actors that ever hit the big screen? What was that aha moment for you?
You know, it was surreal. You know, to have Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence team up together to do this type of film. So as you can imagine, everybody and their mama and their daddy and their uncle and cousin were at these auditions trying to be a part of this project. And I was one of the fortunate ones to be cast in it. But just a little example of how I get down. in terms of auditioning and having meetings. I had 3 meetings before I was cast in the movie. The first meeting, I met with the casting director. I had read the script and realized that Eddie Murphy and Mark Lawrence and this other character, Bear, were fighting over my cornbread. So what I did, I'm a baker. So I baked the cornbread and took it to my first meeting. And I fed the casting director, and that was the end of my audition. She said, okay, we'll be in contact with you. We had no meeting, we had nothing. The second meeting, she said, the director wants to meet you. I went and met with the director, and he said, well, where's my food? And I was like, well, if you hire me, you get me and all that comes with me. And he laughed, and then the next thing I know, I get my final audition, and it's for the producers, the director, at the production office. And they sent me over a monologue that I was supposed to prepare for. And in the monologue, they talk about my character escaping. He was the only person that escaped, had a successful escape attempt from jail. And the only reason he got caught was because he stopped at this barbecue hut that reminded him of his grandma Dottie's barbecue. So what do? I make some barbecue ribs, I make some mac and cheese, I make some collard greens, and I make some cornbread. I can cook them. And I pack it all up in a picnic basket, and I take it into my audition. And so the entire time I'm in there auditioning or meeting with them, I'm in character. And I pass out this food to the casting director and the producer and the director. And they're filming the whole thing, and I'm just in character. And from that moment, they give me the job. And so that's the type of preparation that I do for meetings, let alone the preparation I do for the characters that I portray. And I had no idea that Ted Demme, may rest in peace, who directed Life, he talked about this on the director's reel of the video, of the movie, the director's cut. And my brother called me one day and he said, yo man, did you really cook for the director? I was like, yeah, how do you know that? He said, man, I'm watching it on the director's cut of the DVD right now, and he's telling the story how he brought all this food in. And I tell that story just to tell people, it's all about preparation, and it's all about what it is that you're willing to do, and the extra mile that you're willing to go that's going to separate you from all the other people that are coming in there for whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Yeah, I was definitely going to say, not only can you cook, there's such a bigger story within that. The fact that you went in there, played the role, was dedicated, and went above and beyond, that's the lesson that we can all take away as we carry on our journey of life. So that is amazing. And now I want to touch on, Black excellence. We can't be at the Black Expo without celebrating our culture and our people. Being in Hollywood as a Black man, how has that been for you? And how do you carry your dream with you every day to make sure that you're showing up and representing 100 every single day?
Well, first and foremost, I have to show up and show out for myself and for my family. And then I do that for my community. So whenever you see me work, it's not only for me, it's for all of you. It's for all of us. That's why I believe Blackish was so successful, because of its authenticity and because of its honesty. And because we weren't only doing it for us individually, we were doing it for us collectively as a community. So I am a representation of all of you that sit out there right now. Sometimes we all fall short of what it is that we want to do, but we have to persevere and keep pushing forward. And that's what it's about. Sometimes we fall short of our goals, but that shouldn't deter us. We just keep going back. And, I found myself in Hollywood when I didn't find the opportunities or get the opportunities that I felt I deserved, or get the roles that I felt I deserved. I created them for myself. And that's what we all have to do, because everything isn't going to be given to us. We're not going to get everything that we want to get, but if we take the time to invest in ourselves and create opportunity for ourselves, That's what it's all about.
I just want to pause and say thank you so much for letting us in and you telling us this information, because I think oftentimes we're sitting at home, we're looking at the movies, and we're thinking, yes, the easy life. You just walked up in there, and took those roles, but to hear the hard work and the fact that you said the roles that weren't available, you made them. Like Blackish. Can we give it up for Blackish? How important is that to the culture? A show like that shows a positive Black family, successful all the way from the children to the parents, to be involved in that production. How was that for you? I know that it just ended. My household was sad. We enjoyed watching it. But what did that show mean to you and for the culture?
Well, it was a personal look into my life and in our lives collectively. Kenya Barris, who's the creator of the show, and my partner, and we sat down close to 10 years ago now and looked at the landscape of television and what was missing from television for viewers like us, he and I. And we looked back and we thought about shows like The Cosby Show, we thought about shows like All in the Family, The Jeffersons, and Good Times, and those were the shows that we grew up on, and we missed seeing on television. Unapologetic characters and who they are, shows that were aspirational and inspirational, and things like that. And that's what we wanted to do. That's what we set out to do, to tell our stories. Kenyon is first generation successful from Inglewood. I'm first generation successful from Compton, and just how that has affected our lives in a positive and in a negative way. Both of us were the only Black families living in our neighborhoods. Our children were one of the few Black children in the private schools that they attended. So it was just the trappings of our success, and also in trying to keep our children grounded in this homogenized world in which we lived in as they were assimilating through and holding on to their culture and to their heritage and who they are. And so that's what the show was about, because that's what our life was about, or is about, because we're still living that. And so it was just, let's tell our story. And if we're true to ourselves and true to the stories that we tell, people will come. And they did.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
Absolutely amazing. Knowing you were playing a role, but you were just really going back in time and walking us through what you experienced. So that's why it felt so real and so personal. That's great. And then also another show that you're returning to, Law and Order.
Yeah.
Amazing. So when you...
Y'all didn't cut that loud when she said Blackish. What the hell wrong with y'all?
So this is the thing. Law and Order has been on forever. I mean, I'm 30, so ever since I can remember being a little girl, I remember seeing Law and Order. So let's go back to that little boy in Compton who had a dream. Did you ever think that you would land these huge roles, especially being a part of a creation like Blackish, but then to be on a show like Law and Order that seems like it is never, ever going to end?
You never know those things, but you dream big. You dream big, and I'm a big dreamer. And if your dreams don't scare you, you're not dreaming big enough, is what they say. I always saw success. And when I say success, I don't mean monetarily. I just mean, success in doing what I love to do and working the way that I love to work. I've been blessed with a gift. I don't call what I have a talent. It's a gift that I've been blessed with. And it's my responsibility to share this gift that I've been blessed with the world. And if I do that, then I will be successful. And that is my mission, and that's what I do. I share this gift that I've been blessed with, and that is success for me. Being able to sit here and before you guys, before you men and women and children, to sit and just share my story and just to talk to you and interact with you is success for me.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's what it's about.
Are y'all getting these gems that he's dropping? This free knowledge? This is amazing. Thank you so much. Speaking of knowledge, college graduate from HBCU.
HU?
The real HU, right? Full circle moment for you. I don't want to tell your story, but can you tell people why this was so much more to you than walking across that stage, who you did it with, and how you came back after years of first attending Howard.
I went to Howard University as a freshman back in 1988. Left after my junior year. I was paying for school myself, ran out of money, couldn't call home and ask my mother and father to help because I had 3 younger brothers and sisters at home. Had every intention on going back, but then real life gets in the way. You know, you gotta get a job, you know, you meet somebody, you start having babies, you get married, career takes off, and then so things sort of gets pushed back. And then my son got accepted to Howard 4 years ago. And he inspired me to go back to Howard to get my degree. Yeah, so I was like, so I created the narrative that my son's inspired me to go back to college and get my degree, and I'm gonna walk with him in 2022. I have 4 years to figure out how I'm going to satisfy the 15 credits that I had left. And I did so. Unfortunately, real life got in the way of my son, and he was unable to graduate in 2022. But I held up my end of the bargain. And May 7th, a couple weeks ago, I walked across the stage and received my degree from Howard University. I was a theater major, so I received a BFF. Now, we talked about full circle moments. One, the full circle moment was my son. 2, Taraji P. Henson was receiving her honorary doctorate from Howard University, which is where she graduated from. She and I were classmates at Howard. We were at Howard together. And for her to give the commencement speech the day I received my degree was a full circle
Y'all
moment.
were classmates back in the 80s.
We were classmates back in the 80s.
Wow.
Denise Saunders, who's the assistant dean of the College of Fine Arts. You guys wouldn't know who she is. She's just a regular, everyday person like you guys. But she and I were students at Howard University, and now she's the assistant dean of the College of Fine Arts. That's another full circle moment. And then Felicia Rashad, who's a personal friend of mine, is the dean of the College of Fine Arts. So I had all of these full circle moments, happening at the same time. And then my boy sitting over there right now, skinny boy, Jared Singleton. Raise your hand, Jared. Raise your hand, Jared. That's my man. We went to high school together. That's my best friend, my kids' godparents. We went to high school together. We went to Hollywood High. I go to Howard University. I'm in the housing line because I don't have housing. Who the hell do I bump into in the housing line but Jerry Singleton?
Wow.
I'm like, what the hell are you doing here? He said, what the hell are you doing here? I said, I didn't know you was going here. I didn't know you were going here. So, that solidified our friendship. To bring it even full circle again, I brought my man with me back to Howard to watch me graduate because we came in as freshmen together.
Okay.
So there were several full circle moments of that.
And you are a real one because you are not forgetting the people that you came up with too. So many people make it and forget where they come from. So shout out.
Can never do that. The people I come up with are the people that make me who I am today.
Hello, somebody. Congratulations on that. But I heard a pattern. All of the people that you started off your journey with at Howard, they are now back at the university doing something. Mm-hmm. So we're gonna ask you. Do you plan on making any returns to Howard in any type of professor role or doing anything with the school?
Well, there's several answers to that question.
Okay.
Yes, to start off with. I want to go back and get my master's.
Okay.
Thirdly, I will be teaching classes at Howard in the theater department. And fourthly, creating a scholarship that I will give to theater students there so they don't have to go through what I went through and wait 30 years to get their degree.
Live at your time. That is absolutely amazing. And for you to be able to just express those full circle moments and knowing that at the age of 51, correct?
I'm sorry, what?
Are you 51?
51, yes ma'am.
Are you 23?
Thanks for putting it all out there.
No. Well, listen, this is why I'm putting it out there. First of all, you look great. I only knew that from the internet.
Well,
okay, I didn't really know.
Black don't crack.
It sure don't.
It chip a little bit, but it don't
Just
crack.
a little bit, but it don't crack, right? For the people that are out there right now who are thinking, it's too late for me, I'm over 50, I can't do it, I can't go back, what would be your message for them?
That's a lie. The devil is a lie. You can do it. It's never too late. It's never too late. I'm a living example of that. You know, whatever it is that you started that you didn't finish, you can finish. Whatever it is that you want to start that you haven't started yet, you can start. It's never too late. It's never too late for a new beginning. You know, the sun rises and the sun sets. A new day starts, a new day ends. You can do whatever it is that you want to do.
And from his transparency, you know that this has nothing really to do with his success, with his talent, correct? And your gift that you were given, excuse me. You actually have put into this hard work. Nothing was given to you. So we really appreciate you sharing that with us. Also, something I want to touch on really quickly before we wrap up. Type 2 diabetes. I'm bringing that up because that is something that really affects our Black community. You are such an advocate for that and making sure that people are aware to get themselves checked out. What would you like to say to the audience today?
Well, it's no secret that I'm a type 2 diabetic myself. I partnered with Novo Nordisk 5 years ago now, just to get out and share my story and talk to the community about that. I lost my father to complications from diabetes, and I didn't have to. Just raise your hand if you're diabetic or have diabetes in your family. Just about everybody in this auditorium. Excuse me. We started a website called GetRealAboutDiabetes.com. And I want everybody to go there, just to get information. And that's what it's about, just getting the information. Because that is one of the main reasons that people die from this disease. My father, and like most men, we don't go to the doctor unless we have an appendage falling off. And that was my dad. And my dad had diabetes for probably more than 20 years before it was diagnosed. Knowing what the symptoms of diabetes are, because I'm a diabetic, I look back on my dad when I was a teenager, and he had all of those symptoms and then some, but he was never diagnosed as a diabetic because he never went to the doctor. He never got checked up or anything like that, and as a result of that, we lost him. And I don't want that. I didn't want that to happen to my family, and I don't want that to happen to other families within the community, because all it is information. And I tell people this all the time. You take your car to get your brakes checked. You take your car to get your oil checked every 3,000 miles. Why can't you go to the doctor to get yourself checked out for preventative maintenance? You know, because if all you did was go to the doctor for a quarterly checkup or semi-annual checkup, you may be able to catch something, not just diabetes. You may be able to stave off cancer. You know, any kind of disease, because it's like, oh, we caught this just in time. I'm glad you came in today. All right, this is what you can do so this doesn't happen to you. And if it does, we caught it early enough. These are the programs that we can put you in to help you live with this and not die from it. So that is why I'm an advocate of just sharing information about diabetes. So, you know, if you guys are listening, GetRealAboutDiabetes.com. Just go to the website, share it with your friends and family, and you know, help them along if you can.
All right. Thank you so much. Before we open it up to the crowd, really quick, we're going to do a quick game of this or that with some of the things that you've done. Okay, Rainbow or Joan?
Ooh.
Joan from Girlfriends, if y'all follow Tracy Ellis Ross.
Rainbow.
Rainbow, okay. Blackish or Law and Order?
Blackish.
Okay. All right. Hard out here for a pimp or whoop that trick?
Ooh. It's a combination of both, because it's hard out here for a pimp, but you got to whoop that trick on the pimp.
Hard out here.
All righty. For the video games you've been featured in, Scarface, The World Is Yours, or Def Jam Icon?
Def Jam Icon.
Def Jam Icon. All righty. Well, we're going to open it up to the crowd. Thank you so much, Anthony Anderson. Really appreciate it. And learned so many things from sitting here talking to you. So now we'll open it up to our audience for questions.